to listen right now to a story from a young lady named Jennifer Martin, who, because God was working and is working in the lives of her brother and sister-in-law, it changed her life forever. Will you give Jennifer Martin a huge round of applause as she comes?
Good morning. My name is Jennifer Martin, and I would like to share with you how an act of kindness changed my life. For most of my life, I was a non-believer, even though I was raised in a Catholic family. I was always searching for a quick fix to my problems and refusing to deal with them, turning my life towards drugs and ungodly things to cope. Eventually, I was so out of control that there were times where I could not recognize myself, where I could not believe that I was doing the things that I was doing. Years of this behavior continued, and I made a series of bad decisions that led me to moving out of state with my boyfriend to Las Vegas, where I was going to start over, leave my problems behind, and forget that they existed. Little did I know, hell was waiting to consume me when I got there. I could not find a job, and everywhere I turned, doors were closing. To make matters worse, my relationship was going sour. So there I was, out of work, nothing to my name, and my relationship was not working. I fell into depression, felt worthless, confused, empty. I took the last of my will to do anything, and I called my family for help. The next day, I was on a flight to Arizona. My aunt and uncle took me in and helped me out with what little that they had, and I made an attempt to get my life back. But my depression was getting the best of me, and I started to pull away from life again, not wanting to even open my eyes. My aunt convinced me that I should move back home to Massachusetts to be somewhere familiar and comfortable to help get me out of my depression. But being unemployed had taken its toll on my bank accounts, and I had no idea how I was going to do it, and I was very desperate to get out of the desert. That's when I decided to do something I had not done in a long time, but it was my only option. I called my brother Jimmy to ask him for a plane fare home. I was nervous and unsure how to ask him, plus I had no idea how he was going to react, since I had not spoken to him in almost 4 years. I swallowed my pride and made the call. Luckily, my sister-in-law Pam answered, and I asked to speak to my brother. He seemed happy to hear from me, and then I dropped a bomb on him. And after a few minutes of groveling, he agreed to buy me a ticket home to Boston. A few days later, and much to my surprise, he called me back and offered for me to come live with him and his family in Georgia, which, from what I remember of my brother, this was very much out of character. There was only one stipulation that he gave me. I had to attend church. He then told me about SCC and the people there, and how different it was from the Catholic church that we attended as children, and how much his life had been changed and the happiness that he had found. I was unsure about the decision to move to Georgia because I no longer trusted my own judgment. I was very apprehensive about things to come. My brother and I talked a few more times, and he kept telling me about God and about the Celebrate Recovery program here at SCC. I agreed to his stipulation of attending church, and the next thing I knew, I was on another plane heading to another state. The first day I was in Georgia, I had an opportunity to meet some of the people from the church at an outreach project at Noah's Ark. I could not believe how nice everybody was and how they truly seemed to care. That Sunday, I attended my first service at SCC, where I was welcomed warmly with bright smiles and hugs from complete strangers. But it was not till the praise team took the stage and I witnessed the sheer joy on Rhonda Dawes' face as she sang that brought me to tears. These were not tears of sadness, but tears of hope. I knew I wanted that kind of happiness, but I did not know how to get it. At that moment, I decided I was going to make every effort possible to make it possible. I began slowly by going to Wednesday night Bible study, where my faith began to grow. And shortly after that, the Life's Healing Choices series began, and small groups started. I learned a lot from this series about myself, about forgiveness, and about God's love for me. Just a few weeks into the series, my cravings for God's words were growing, and I needed to know more. That's when I started attending Fresh Start and Celebrate Recovery in order to grow a relationship and trust in the Lord by getting the help that I needed to work through my problems by relying on my Savior to strengthen me. But I felt as if I was not doing enough for the Lord. Therefore, getting baptized was the optimal decision. I felt as if I needed to shout to the world how much I love my God, because His love was pouring into me, and I was sinking in an ocean of His blessings. Only 7 months have passed, and although I still have some issues to deal with, my faith in the Lord makes it easier because I know God is with me. And in retrospect, He has always been with me. My depression has subsided, and my happiness is abundant. My faith and love for my Savior grows daily, and I look forward to seeing what God holds in my future. But had it not been for the act of kindness of my brother and his wife Pam, and the kindness of the people here at SCC, I would have never known this happiness that is God's love. And as stated in Ephesians 5:8, for I was once darkness, now I am light in the Lord. Thank you.